In this video, we're diving into the 20 best places to travel in Europe that you have to add to your bucket list, visiting amazing spots all the way from Austria to Germany, the Netherlands, France, Portugal, and Spain. We will be telling you the top 3 things to do in each destination, and stick around until the end to find out what our favorite spot in Europe is. Let's get into it. Vienna, the capital of Austria, offers a perfect mix of elegance and history. If you want to feel like royalty for a day, this is the place to be. Here are our top 3 activities when visiting Vienna. Riding a horse-drawn carriage through the city and the palace gardens is a must when in Vienna. It's such a romantic experience to see all the city's famous landmarks in a beautiful vintage-style carriage driven by a coachman wearing a suit. They also know a lot about history and share interesting facts during the ride. Another activity we highly recommend in Vienna is to see either a philharmonic concert or any live orchestra at one of the city's many grand opulent buildings. We've linked many different options in the description. Plus, just so you know, any activity we mention in this video will be linked in the description for you if you want to check it out. The city is known for its historic coffee houses. Definitely try their classic melange coffee, like a cappuccino but less frothy, and enjoy a slice of sachetort, which is a chocolate cake with a layer of apricot jam covered in chocolate icing. We suggest stopping by Café Sacher by the Hotel Sacher, a popular place to try the original sachetort. Also try other popular places like Café Demel and Café Central. The Moselle Valley is a region shared by Germany, France, and Luxembourg, known for its green vineyards lining the hills. The most famous towns are Cochem, Bernkastel-Kues, and Koblenz. Let's get right into the top 3 things to do here. A great way to explore the area is by taking a river cruise and hopping off at the charming little towns along the way. It's such a unique experience because you can see a different perspective of the valleys. They also serve local wine on board. We took a cruise that lasted about 1 to 2 hours. Tickets cost around €14 for adults and €5 for kids up to 14 years old, making it a pretty affordable way to soak in the beautiful Moselle scenery. This is Germany's oldest wine-growing region, and there are plenty of vineyards you can visit. If this sounds like something you would enjoy, we've linked some wine tours in the description. If you love biking, this region is perfect for that since the roads are mostly flat. Definitely consider renting a bike and exploring it this way. If you want some more information about the Moselle Valley, definitely check out our video, Top 9 Underrated Places to Visit in Europe, after this one. Trier is packed with history, and if you love Roman ruins, this city is a great place to visit, and honestly, it's a city in Germany we don't see a lot of people talking about enough. Here are 3 things we think you should do here. We suggest taking a walking tour to all the iconic landmarks like Porta Negra, a massive Roman city gate over 1,800 years old that can be visited for free, but if you want to explore the inside, it's €4. Trier Cathedral, the Dom St. Peter, is Germany's oldest cathedral, which is free to enter, and it's home to the Holy Robe, which is said to be Jesus' tunic. Also visit the Basilica of Constantine, once a Roman throne hall, now a church. This place has the largest surviving ancient Roman hall. The Roman amphitheater is a must-see. This ancient arena once held 20,000 spectators watching gladiator fights. You can explore the underground tunnels too. We also suggest the Imperial Baths, the Kaiserthermen, a Roman bath complex that's mostly ruins now, but it's still impressive. Trier has a few local beers worth trying. One of the most well-known is Kraft Brau, a small brewery in Trier that makes traditional German beers like Pilsner, Weizen. Another option is Bitburger, a popular German Pilsner brewed in nearby Bitburg, about 30 minutes from Trier, which you'll find served in most bars and restaurants in Trier. We actually tried it at their restaurant called Bitburger Wursthaus. Here we ordered the German sausage served with mashed potatoes with gravy and sauerkraut, and it was delicious. We definitely recommend trying this restaurant. Volendam is a Dutch fishing village just north of Amsterdam, known for its colorful wooden houses and harbor. Painters like Picasso even visited for inspiration, and it's an easy day trip from Amsterdam. Here's what we suggest. If you want to see a charming waterfront village with a classic Dutch vibe, definitely visit Volendam. It's got colorful houses, a lively harbor, and some of the best fresh seafood in the Netherlands. And that brings us to our next point. We went to a restaurant with beautiful views of the marina called Smit-Bokum and ordered the catch of the day a la Smit-Bokum, and that day it was haddock stewed in classic Volendam style, served with red cabbage stump, which is a mix of potatoes and red cabbage, topped with butter and egg sauce, made with mustard, vinegar and butter. And for starters, we had the most delicious sourdough bread bowl, tomato tapenade and salmon mousse. It was so good. A cool thing about this restaurant is on the top floor they have a music room with music memorabilia and vinyls. Volendam is known as the birthplace of Palling sound, a smooth Dutch pop music style producing famous national artists. It's definitely a must visit. Volendam is a great place to hop on a boat cruise to Marken, another village on an island nearby. Volendam and Marken are the 2 most famous Dutch fishing villages. The tour includes an audio guide that teaches you all about the area. We've linked a way to book tickets in the description. Amsterdam is the capital of the Netherlands, known for its canals, historic houses, bikes, lots of bikes. But let's talk about our top 3 things you have to do here. One of the best ways to experience Amsterdam is by hopping on a canal cruise. And we've linked one that we did in the description to make it easy for you. You can sit back, relax, and take in the city while floating through its famous canals, see all the beautiful 17th century buildings, charming houseboats, and bridges from the water. One of our absolute favorite restaurants we've been to for traditional Dutch food is the Pantry. We had their special lunchtime menu that had 4 different set menu options and includes a starter, a main, and a dessert. They make a delicious beef and onion stew with a side of red cabbage and mashed potatoes. And if you can, definitely try their poffertjes. It's a Dutch dessert that is little fluffy pancakes with icing sugar on top. Of course, we had to include the Rijksmuseum. It is a must visit in Amsterdam. This is the National Museum of the Netherlands, home to some of the most famous Dutch masterpieces like Girl with a Pearl Earring by Vermeer and The Night Watch by Rembrandt. We have a whole video on spending 24 hours in Amsterdam where we go into more detail about the Rijksmuseum and things you can do in the city, so definitely go check that out after this one. Gouda, the birthplace of the world-renowned Gouda cheese, is home to a traditional cheese market that runs from April to September. It's a perfect day trip from Amsterdam. Let's get into the top 3 things to do here. Gouda's cheese experience is the perfect activity to learn all about the famous Gouda cheese. You can see how it's made, try different kinds, and even buy some as a souvenir. If you're in Gouda, it's definitely worth a stop. The main square, where you'll find the beautiful and iconic town hall, is surrounded by great bars and restaurants. It's the perfect spot for a drink or a meal, especially as the evening sets in and the vibe gets even better. If you feel like a nice relaxing activity, we definitely recommend taking a stroll through the streets of Gouda alongside the canals. Delft is a small historic city in the Netherlands known for its beautiful canals, old churches, and famous blue and white pottery called Delftware. It was home to William the Orange, the founder of the Netherlands, and the birthplace of the famous painter Johannes Vermeer. Here are the 3 things we suggest. Royal Delft is the most famous Delft pottery factory, showcasing the city's iconic hand-painted blue and white ceramics. They have a lovely souvenir store with beautiful and classy hand-painted pottery pieces and other bits like magnets, postcards, and more. Some landmarks worth visiting are the New Church, the Old Church, and Markt Square, Delft's main square, surrounded by historic buildings including the town hall and many cafes and shops. As far as local cuisine, Delft shares a lot of dishes with the rest of the Netherlands like stroopwafels, poffertjes, herring, bitterballen. However, when in Delft, definitely try Delftse donder. You can't talk about France without mentioning Paris. If we had to pick just 3 must-do activities, we'd go for ones that let you see more in less time because Paris is huge and there's a lot to experience. If you're short on time, a Seine river cruise is one of the easiest ways to see Paris without the hassle of walking or figuring out the metro. You just sit back, relax, and take in the views of the Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame, and the Louvre all in one go. Most cruises are only an hour, so it's a super quick way to soak up the city. And if you go in the evening, Paris is all lit up and it's magical. We've linked a great one in the description for you. Of course, the views from the Eiffel Tower are incredible, but we've got an even better option for you, the Arc de Triomphe. The reason we recommend going to the top is that you don't just get a panoramic view of Paris, you get a view that includes the Eiffel Tower. Tickets were €16 per person, which honestly feels worth it for the experience. And after climbing all 280 steps, you're rewarded with one of the most breathtaking views of the city. It almost feels like that moment in Ratatouille when Remy finally sees Paris for the first time. Café Marley is a fancy restaurant cafe we love to go to enjoy a cocktail with a spectacular view of the Louvre pyramids. Keep in mind it is on the pricier side, but it's definitely worth it for the experience. However, alternatively, if you're on a tighter budget, we suggest getting macarons at Café Concerto and enjoy them on a bench in the Tuileries garden. There's something very peaceful and almost whimsical about this park. For more ideas on things to do in Paris, check out our Paris playlist on the screen or in the description, where you'll find plenty of videos packed with great options and travel tips. Bordeaux, also known as Port of the Moon due to the moon-like shape of the Garonne River, it's a beautiful city in southwestern France, and here are our top 3 recommendations. Bordeaux is full of amazing landmarks to explore in the Old Town. Start with the Place de la Bourse, a beautiful square with stunning classical buildings and a reflecting pool called the Miroir d'Eau. Visit Bordeaux's Grand Theatre, a gorgeous 18th century opera house, Domus Port-Queloz, a 15th century gate that looks like a castle. Finally, the Basilica of Saint-Michel is a lovely Gothic church with a tall bell tower you can climb for a great view of the city. And while you're here, we highly recommend having lunch or dinner at Michel's. We try to eat here every time we visit Bordeaux. Our top suggestion is is the French onion soup covered in pastry. It is unreal. If you're low on time, we suggest you take tramline C from Porto Bourgogne all the way to Bordeaux's lake. You'll pass a lot of iconic landmarks this way, and once you get to the lake, walk 10 minutes to the Plage du Lac. You could even pick up some wine and cheese and bread and enjoy a picnic there. As you may know, Bordeaux is one of the world's most famous wine regions. Bordeaux is known for producing top quality red wines, especially blends made from Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. It's also home to the Cité du Vin, a museum dedicated to wine. You'll definitely need to come here if you want to learn about winemaking and its history and enjoy some tastings. The French Riviera is a glamorous stretch of Mediterranean coastline between Saint-Tropez and Menton, famous for its luxury yachts and stunning beaches. There are many amazing restaurants in Nice with a Miami kind of vibe. We went to one called La Voglia and really loved it. We had a picnic on San Rafael Beach while watching the sunset, but before we bought a bunch of snacks like cheese, champagne, grapes, and a dessert called tarte tropézienne. It's a fluffy brioche cake with a custard filling. It's a must try. Start in Saint-Tropez, where you have to see the long line of luxury yachts and have a drink at one of their many fancy restaurants with a view of the yachts. Then head to Fréjus and Saint-Raphaël, where you can explore beautiful beaches and ancient Roman ruins. In Cannes, famous for its film festival, you can walk along the Croisette Promenade. Then go to Nice, known for its stunning seafront Promenade des Anglais and its great restaurant scene. Then you cannot miss Aise, a charming hilltop village with breathtaking views. We've linked the exact spot where we saw one of the most stunning views we've ever seen in our lives. You could also make a quick stop in Monaco if you have time and have some dinner on the beachfront at Giacomo, part of the Big Mama group, and finally end in Menton, known for its colorful houses and Italian kind of vibe. We absolutely love Menton, and we actually get more into detail about it in our top 9 underrated places in Europe video, so definitely go check that out. Provence is a huge region in France, famous for its stunning lavender fields and renowned for its wine, especially rosé, which is produced in the region's sunny climate and known for its light, crisp, and refreshing taste. Lavender fields are only in full bloom from a short time each year, from mid-June to late August. If you visit too early, you'll miss the most vibrant purple flowers, and if you come too late, the lavender might already be harvested. The most popular lavender field is Valensole. Aix-en-Provence, Avignon, and Arles are 3 beautiful towns in Provence, and they're all pretty close to each other, about 1 hour drive max between them. Aix-en-Provence, nicknamed the City of the Fountains, has more than 50 stunning water fountains all over the town. We also suggest visiting the famous painter Cézanne's studio. Avignon is all about history. Check out the massive Palace of the Popes and the famous Pont d'Avignon. Arles is a city on the Rhone River, and it's famous for inspiring Van Gogh's paintings. And once a Roman provincial capital, Arles has well-preserved ruins, including the Arles Amphitheatre, that now hosts plays, concerts, and a lot more. The Verdon Gorge is a river canyon known for its turquoise waters. It's perfect for hiking, kayaking, or just enjoying the views. If you have a car, you cannot skip this place. Annecy is a picturesque town in the southeastern France, renowned for its stunning lake, Lac d'Annecy, the cleanest lake in Europe. Its charming old town with canals winding through it has earned the town nickname the Venice of the Alps. Here are 3 things we think you should do in Annecy. The old town of Annecy is full of planter boxes and colorful flowers and pastel buildings. Definitely make sure to go over the Pont de Pierre to see the iconic Le Palais d'El Museum, even if it's just from the outside. Arguably the most amazing feature of Annecy is Lake Annecy, with its vibrant turquoise water and stunning mountains in the background. We cannot recommend enough that you hop on a tour boat or rent your own, a pedal boat or motorboat. We did both, the tour boat and the motorboat, and highly recommend both. We've added a link to rent a boat in the description. If you're looking for a restaurant recommendation, we suggest Chez Angal. We had lunch here twice and really loved it. Normandy is rich in history, from the D-Day beaches to Mont Saint-Michel. The region is also a food lover's paradise with specialities like camembert cheese, moules frites, and apple cider. Our top 3 activities are: Mont Saint-Michel is a stunning island commune, a medieval abbey that seems to float above the sea. You have to park at the Mont Saint-Michel parking lot that is around 2.5 kilometers away from the island, and we do suggest walking all the way up to see the abbey. Pro tip: don't eat at any of the restaurants on the island. They're total tourist traps and have terrible reviews. That being said, visiting Mont Saint-Michel is still a must. Étretat is a small coastal town in Normandy, famous for its white cliffs and natural rock arches that rise above the sea. The needle and the arch have inspired many artists, including Monet. Granville in Normandy, approximately 45 minutes drive from Mont Saint-Michel, is a coastal town where you can see the beautiful old town where you'll find Christian Dior, the legendary fashion designer's childhood home. The gardens alone are worth a visit. and take a walk along Le Roc to the Phare du Cap Liu. Built in 1828, it's a beautiful spot to watch the sea with the sunset in the background. For dinner, you can't miss Le Restaurant du Port by the port, where we suggest you try moule à la crème, creamy mussels with fries. This seafood dish is a variation of the classic moule frites. Brittany, located in the northwest of France, is known for its rugged cliffs, secluded beaches, and rich Celtic heritage. Its coastline, with dramatic landscapes and charming coastal towns, is a highlight of the region, and here are our top 3 recommendations. The old town of Rennes has some really beautiful half-timbered houses. You must visit the Rennes Cathedral and the rose gardens in Parc du Tabor. If you're ever in France, Saint-Malo is a great spot to check out. It's got this amazing old town and the beaches are beautiful. We suggest you go to Bidouan Tower for great views and have some seafood at one of the restaurants by the water. If you have a car and are planning on spending a lot of time in Brittany, we also recommend visiting Carnac. It's about a 4-hour drive from Saint-Malo, and Carnac is a gorgeous small town, mainly known for its famous stone alignments, which is really something unique to see. Let's begin our journey in northern Spain in Asturias. This beautiful region is known for its lush green valleys, mountain ranges, and dramatic cliffs. Here are 3 must-see experiences when you visit Asturias. Fabada is a hearty Spanish bean stew. It's made with large white beans, slow-cooked with chorizo, morcilla, a type of blood sausage, and pork, creating a rich, smoky, and comforting dish. It's usually eaten during the colder months and is best enjoyed with crusty bread and maybe a glass of cider, which Asturias is known for. The Lagos de Covadonga are 2 stunning lakes, Enol and Ercina, in the Picos de Europa National Park. They're surrounded by mountains and offer amazing hiking trails and breathtaking views. To visit, you can drive up from Cangas de Onís, but in peak season, spring to early autumn, private cars aren't allowed between certain hours. Instead, you'll need to take a shuttle bus from Cangas de Onís or Covadonga, which are incredibly beautiful in itself. Definitely try and visit the Basilica in Covadonga. The coast of Asturias is full of beautiful cliffs, greenery, and turquoise water. We highly suggest renting a car and taking a drive and visiting different coastal villages like Ribadesella. We may be a bit partial since we call it home, but we truly love Madrid. And we do recommend visiting, though we suggest avoiding the summer months because it's so hot here. It is actually unbearable. And as locals, here's what we suggest you do. The Salamanca neighborhood is an area in Madrid known for its beautiful and sophisticated buildings. The main streets to see are Serrano, Velázquez, Jorge Juan, Hermosilla, and Claudio Coello, filled with high-end stores, amazing restaurants, and classy coffee shops. We recommend Castizo, Belmondo, Ultramarinos Quintana, and Balbisiana, but there are many incredible options. Check out our Madrid playlist for more info on these places. You can't say you've been to Madrid without visiting Retiro Park. A really fun activity you can do is take a boat ride on Retiro's big pond. They cost €6 per boat on weekdays and €8 on weekends, and each boat can hold up to 4 people. The ride lasts 45 minutes and is a super relaxing activity for a couple or family. Madrid is super walkable, and exploring on foot is the best way to take in all the iconic landmarks and really experience the city. You start at Retiro Park and head to Puerta de Alcalá, then stroll down Calle de Alcalá to reach Palacio de Cibeles, Cibeles Fountain. Keep walking and you'll spot the stunning Metropolis building, followed by the Four Seasons Hotel, Galería Canalejas, and Plaza de Canalejas. Just a minute away is the famous Puerta del Sol, and from there, it's only a 2-minute walk to Plaza Mayor. Right next door, you'll find the Mercado de San Miguel, a great spot for a quick bite. Continue through Ópera, and soon you'll arrive at Plaza de Oriente, with the Royal Palace and Almudena Cathedral just behind it. Make sure to stop by the Mirador de la Cornisa for city views. We also recommend you walk 5 minutes to Plaza de España to see the tall Rio Hotel building, and finish the route in Gran Via, a busy and iconic street with shops, restaurants, and theaters. Located in southern Spain, is famous for its blend of Spanish and Moorish architecture, vibrant flamenco music, delicious tapas, and its central role in Catholic festivals. We absolutely love Seville, so here are our top 3 things to do. When in Sevilla, you absolutely must see a flamenco show. Flamenco is a big deal in Sevilla because the city is one of its birthplaces. It's such a beautiful art form that you have to experience at least once in your life. We've added a link in the description to buy tickets. It's pretty touristy, but we definitely recommend taking a boat ride in Plaza de España. It's a 35-minute boat ride that costs €6, plus a €4 deposit. And to get your deposit back, return to the booth after your ride with your ticket. So make sure you don't lose it. The Real Alcázar of Sevilla is a stunning palace with a mix of Moorish and Christian architecture. Originally built by Muslim rulers, it later became a royal palace for Spanish kings. It's famous for its detailed tiles, beautiful gardens, and courtyards. And if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you might recognize it as the setting for Dorne. Porto is known for its colorful buildings decorated with azulejo tiles, the Ribeira port wine, and the famous Livraria Lelo bookstore, which is rumored to have inspired the Harry Potter books. With delicious treats like pastéis de nata and plasticinha, there's so much to enjoy. Here are the 3 things we highly suggest. Pastéis de nata are delicious Portuguese custard tarts made with flaky pastry and a rich, creamy filling. They're slightly caramelized on top and best enjoyed warm with a sprinkle of cinnamon. The best place to get them are Manteigaria, Castro, and Fábrica de Nata. Take a stroll in the Ribeira where there are many waterfront restaurants and bars. It's a great place to relax, have a glass of port wine, and order francesinha. Originally from Porto, this dish is made with thick slices of white loaf bread, Portuguese ham, sausage, cheese, and steak. You can stroll along the Douro River or even take a ferry. If that's out of your budget, opt for taking the Metro Line D that goes outside over the Dom Luis I bridge, or walk over it. The bridge lets you cross on the top or bottom, so walk from Porto to the other side and then down the hill and walk back across on the bottom. The view is absolutely beautiful. Lisbon, the capital of Portugal, is famous for its stunning tiled buildings, jacaranda trees, vintage trams, and delicious pastéis de nata. While there's no shortage of things to do, here are our top 3 recommendations. A stunning late Gothic monastery that is definitely worth visiting to learn about Portuguese culture, dating all the way back to the 16th century. We've added a link to buy tickets in the description, and while you're here, right next door is Pastéis de Belém. It opened in 1837, and it's famous for still using a secret original recipe from the monastery. This is the only place that is allowed to call them Pastéis de Belém. Other places that sell pastéis de nata can't legally call them this unless they know the secret recipe. Touring the city on the vintage 1930-style trams are quintessential Lisbon. Tram 28 is Lisbon's most well-known trolley route. It passes many popular tourist attractions and landmarks, and to avoid a ton of tourists, it's recommended that travelers ride them either early in the morning or evening. Tram tickets cost around €3. The traditional style of Portuguese music accompanied by the soft, melancholic sounds of a Portuguese guitar. You'll often hear it in small bars or restaurants, especially in Lisbon and Coimbra. Bonus tip, for great views of Lisbon, we suggest visiting Castelo de São Jorge. There is an entry fee to visit the castle, but it's so worth it for the beautiful views of typical Portuguese buildings, the harbour, and the famous Golden Gate style bridge, the 25th of April bridge. Okay, now for one of our absolute favourite places in Europe. It's just a 40-minute train ride from Lisbon, and here are 3 things we recommend you do while you're here. The views from the palace are absolutely breathtaking. It does get extremely crowded though, so we recommend you get early morning time slot at 9:30. But trust me, it's definitely worth the early rise. Quinta da Regaleira is a beautiful estate created by an eccentric Brazilian named Antonio Augusto Carvalho Monteiro. That's a Portuguese name if I've ever heard one. Here you have to see the Gothic palace, the chapel, the celestial fountain, and the initiation well, as well as several towers, lakes, statues, avenues, and caves. The town is also very pretty and is worth walking around and seeing all the charming houses and buildings. Check out the blog post linked in the description for more info on how to get to Sintra from Lisbon, what to eat, and what to do there. Pro tip, try plan your visit for when the weather is misty and chilly. It gives the town a magical fairy tale feel. This is how I first experienced it, and I fell in love with this place, although it is beautiful no matter the weather. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave and check out all the links in the description. Safe travels! One important thing to note is that most low-cost airlines, they prioritize suitcases over backpacks to be stowed in the overhead lockers. If you have a backpack, it's more likely that you will need to place it under your seat, sacrificing legroom.